Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling, well, what looks like a really simple line from ancient wisdom, Proverbs 20.14, but we're going deep. We've got these sources that honestly turn this single sentence into a whole psychological drama. We're using linguistic work, visual memory aids. It's quite something.
It really is. And our mission for you today is to get inside this paradox. You know the one. The buyer who just trashes an item in public, really tears it down, only to, well, brag about what a great deal they got later on in private.
Yeah, that performance.
Exactly. We're going to use these very allegorical sources to see how the text actually builds that tension, that gap between the public criticism and the private calculation.
And the core line we're digging into is just bad, bad, the buyer says. Then after he goes away, he boasts. It sounds simple.
Deceptively simple. Once you layer in these mnemonics, these visual stories from the commentaries, it explodes. It becomes this intricate story about human nature, about intent.
Okay, let's set the scene then. Because the sources put us right there, don't they? In a marketplace, high tension.
Right in the middle of it. And we have our players, the seller, who the source calls the vixen. She represents the context for this whole chapter, chapter 20.
Okay, the vixen and the buyer.
The buyer is the parrot.
A parrot, okay.
Yeah. And the item they're haggling over, that's where the conflict kicks off immediately.
What is the item?
It's an antique fishing lure. And not just any lure. It's identified as a real rarity from a famous old workshop. Valuable.
So it's actually worth something.
Oh, intrinsically, yes. But it looks terrible.
How so?
It's been stored badly. Big rust spots, corrosion, under the bright market sun, all that damage just jumps out, it looks like.
Well, the word used is rot, decay.
And the proverb literally looks like decay here.
Exactly. The vixen is trying to sell this thing with huge historical value, but right now, zero curb appeal. The look and the value are just completely at odds.
And that gap, that's the stage for the buyer's performance, as you called it. Precisely. The source material nails this visual clash with that first word. Bad, evil, decay. But it doesn't stop there. The sources actually amplify the badness.
They amplify it.
Well, they add sound.
Yeah.
And a sort of tangible threat. The second image linked to that word, it's spelled slightly differently. A is a crab.
A crab.
Yeah, a crab nearby, its claws constantly snapping near the box with the lure. Click, click, click.
Okay, so that sound suggests fragility, breakage.
Exactly. It implies the rust isn't just surface level. It suggests the whole thing is fundamentally ruined, about to fall apart, broken.
Wow. So the vixen knows the real value. The parrot probably suspects or knows it too.
Oh, he knows.
But the whole scene is designed to make it look worthless to everyone watching.
That's the game. Sight the rust, sound the snapping crab. Together they create this overwhelming feeling of just total junk.
And into this atmosphere steps the parrot.
Or a buyer. And the parrot is actually the mnemonic image for the Hebrew phrase, one says, he's the speaker, the performer.
Right. And he leans into the perceived flaws.
He does. Knowing the rarity underneath, he points to the rust, the decay, maybe hints at the fragility the crab suggests, and loudly, repeatedly cries out, bad, bad.
Just like the proverb says.
Exactly. He's listing every possible defect, talking down the craftsmanship. It's this sustained, very vocal attack. The goal. Grind down the price, embarrass the vixen, maybe, and definitely lower the item's perceived value for any onlookers.
It's pure theater.
Calculated theater.
Okay, so that's the public drama. But you said the real deep dive is what's happening internally, the buyer's secret calculation.
Yes. Now we get to who the buyer really is psychologically. The sources use the Hebrew word the buyer or the purchaser.
Yeah.
And the mnemonic image for that isn't the parrot. It's his wallet.
His wallet. Why a wallet?
But it's not just any wallet. The commentary describes in detail it's resistant, tightly clasped shut. It's like the clasp is rejecting the buyer's sweaty, eager fingers. He's struggling to get it open, even to access his money.
Okay. So that physical struggle represents
his internal conflict, his reluctance, his hesitation, that deep resistance to actually parting with the cash, even though he knows intellectually this is a fantastic deal.
Even for a bargain, spending money hurts.
Exactly. The price being haggled over, even if it's going down, is causing him genuine internal pain. His brain is screaming, buy it, but his gut, represented by the wallet, is clenched tight.
So the outward show, the bad, is partly to justify this internal pain of spending. He needs to feel he really got it cheap.
Precisely. He has to demonstrate, maybe to himself as much as others, that he didn't overpay. The vixen sees this, by the way. She sees the struggle with the wallet, the buyer's anguish over the money, despite all the loud posturing.
Okay, we got the resistance, the wallet. Now, you mentioned tracking his intentions, but this is where it gets really creative, you said.
Wildly creative. We hit the next phrase in the proverb.
What's everything?
It means goes away, dwindles, or leaves the scene.
Okay.
The mnemonic for this, a balloon.
A balloon?
Yes, specifically a balloon tied to the wallet.
Ah, okay, I see. Something slipping away, drifting off.
Perfect image, isn't it? As the deal concludes, the parrot's about to leave. The balloon's string slips from his hand, maybe symbolically, and it starts to float away from him. It represents the end of the negotiation, the buyer dwindling from the scene.
But there's more to it.
Oh, yes. The genius part is what's drawn on the balloon itself.
What's drawn it?
It's like a little preview, a premonition. It's a clear image of the parrot, and he's holding a tuning fork and smiling.
A tuning fork on the balloon that's floating away.
Exactly. This image, literally drifting away from the present transaction, reveals the buyer's hidden future intent.
Which is?
To boast. To congratulate himself. The sources are showing us. The second the deal is done, the intention to brag about his cleverness, his cheap victory, is already formed. It's sealed and floating off into the future.
Wow. So the vixen, if she's sharp, could literally see his future self-satisfaction drifting away while he's still reluctantly counting out the coins.
Potentially, yes. The price shifts to him, that's coup in the Hebrew, and then the deal is struck. Bang! Public rejection flips instantly to private, triumphant acquisition.
And that whole bad performance was just the setup.
Just the mechanism to enable the future boast. That was its sole purpose. Set the stage for his eventual self-glory.
So the parrot leaves the stall, clutching his prize. Now what? He's alone, the deal is done.
Now comes the payoff. The boast itself. The Hebrew word is ari.
He will boast or glory himself.
And the mnemonic for this word is the tuning fork we saw on the balloon.
The tuning fork again. How does that represent boasting?
Well, the sources describe the parrot taking out the tuning fork and applying it to the antique lure he just bought.
Okay.
And it produces this clear, resonant overtone, a pure note that vibrates maybe in his hand, in his chest. It's like a sonic confirmation.
A ping of satisfaction.
Exactly. A vibration of pure self-satisfaction. It validates the whole performance, the clever haggling. He hears that clear tone and knows, yes, I got the rarity and I got it cheap.
That must feel pretty good. The relief from spending plus the win.
Huge relief, huge triumph. But the proverb and these sources, they don't just leave it there. There's an immediate irony, a puncture to that perfect private moment of glory.
Oh, what happens? Well, later on, the parrot is showing off his lure, still glowing, proud.
Naturally.
But someone from the market crowd, someone who saw the whole bad routine.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. They see him proudly displaying this lure and basically call him out. Hey, it's not the piece of junk you were complaining so loudly about, or something to that effect.
So public memory catches up with private gloating. That's awkward.
Totally undermines it. His moment of pride just dissolves. It evaporates under the weight of his own words.
So he's confronted with his hypocrisy directly. The source material really emphasizes this. He's forced to reconcile the trash talking he did with the actual value he's now bragging about. He realizes the transaction wasn't just about saving money, it cost him something else.
His integrity.
Exactly. Saving money by sacrificing integrity.
But does he learn from it? The sources say this wasn't just a story about a hypocrite, but a lesson.
A hard-learned lesson, yes. The synthesis from the sources is really interesting here. It shows that the next time the parrot is in the market, he behaves differently.
How so?
He approaches the next potential purchase with, well, more integrity. No more aggressive defect listing. He focuses on verifying the item's quality, its provenance, and then he proposes a price much closer to its actual recognized value.
So he learned the lesson.
He learned the lesson. The sources sum it up beautifully with the phrase, shuhalas.
Which means?
Roughly, honesty pays off longer than boasting.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
He realizes the cheap win isn't worth the reputational hit.
Right. That single bargain might feel good for a moment, but the long-term enjoyment is soured if everyone knows you acted dishonestly to get it.
And the vixen, the seller, she saw this whole psychological journey unfold.
She saw the whole arc, which is why her reflection perfectly captures the proverb. Bad, bad, the buyer says. Then after he goes away, he boasts. It's just this timeless observation, isn't it? Brilliantly unpacked by these mnemonic images, like the crab, the wallet, the balloon, the tuning fork.
It really shows how private satisfaction and public performance are often, well, completely opposed.
Amusingly contrasted, yeah.
So we've used these incredible sources, the rust, the crab, the tight wallet, that predictive balloon, to really get into the skin of this proverb, to unpack the calculated hypocrisy and aggressive haggling.
And it reveals that even the simplest sounding phrases can hide incredibly complex human drives and motivations.
That mechanism, projecting negativity publicly to shield a private calculation of gain.
Yeah.
You see that elsewhere too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Beyond just haggling.
So here's a thought to leave you with. If the deepest truth of that transaction wasn't the price, but maybe that image on the balloon drifting away from the wallet, what other hidden calculations, what other secret intentions might be floating just out of sight behind the everyday words we use when we talk about value or quality?
Right.
Or maybe even relationships?
Something to definitely mull over next time you hear someone emphatically declare something is just bad, bad. What's really going on behind the scenes?